Hey, what's up everybody? Hey, we're going to do a little bit of a different video for you guys today. We're going to do, as you can tell, we're doing a little bit of work on the RZR. We're going to do some new A-Arms, some new ball joints, new hardware, fix a few other things. And we've got some good news. We've actually got James at Performance Side-by-Side Bushings has actually joined to be a video sponsor. So shout out to James. Thank you very much at Performance Side-by-Side Bushings for hooking us up with a new set of bushings. Guys, everybody go visit James. He's got some great products for about every kind of side-by-side four-wheeler you can imagine. Local company, good people. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. I'll pick the camera up and we'll walk over here. We also got some new A-Arms from HCR. Ended up finding these on used. There was new old stock from a racer out in Utah, so we got those, had them powder coated to match. We're going to do some new ARP hardware. This is from I think it's Brian Crower Racing out in California, and we've got, of course, here's James. Shout out to them, hooking us up. They're going to be a channel sponsor. So James sent me a set of bushings for the arms, some step washers, and he also sent the grease fitting kit, which we're going to install. So before we go any further, I'm going to set our camera up here, and you're going to bear with me because I'm a little new at talking and showing this both. But this is those bushings that came in the kit from HCR. This is what they send. They don't, but here's one of their bushings here, and you can kind of see how these bushings almost will just fall off of the pin that they send. And you can almost, I mean, they're not tied on here at all. I mean, they're very loose. I mean, they're really surprising they're that loose to me. But there's no, let's see if this can focus. There's no grease fitting in these bushings whatsoever on any of them. I mean, as far as an O-ring, there's no O-rings on anything. So let's take a look at the Performance side-by-side bushings here. These are much tighter fit. They've got an O-ring in here, keep grease and dirt out. But here's one of the biggest things that I noticed immediately about the bushings. So I've got these set up exactly the same. They're pushed to the end on both, on the edges, and these I'll have to hold them here. But look how much more bushing material you got to wear on. That's hard to believe that there's that much. But anyway, like I said, they'll fall off immediately, and these are almost have to have a hammer to get some of them on. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. These things we're not going to use, so we're going to put these back over here. We're going to put the grease fittings in them and continue on. So here's James' kit. He sent me a drill bit, some grease fittings, and sends a tap. Now we're going to go through all this together and see what we can do. So I've already done one of the bushings in the arms. We're going to have to do this one. So we're going to get our drill bit here, 190-degree fitting, and we're going to use our mark here. Now we're going to go over here and set our camera up on the garage. All right. As you can tell, I already got, I bet you guys can see this, let me know. Already got this one done. Said I already got the fitting in that one. We just need to put it in this one. And I've already somewhat marked where this is going to go at. You just got to make sure you get your fitting in the middle. And we'll get our Sharpie here. I'll try and get you guys a little bit closer here when y'all can see what I'm doing. Hope y'all can see. So I've done another set of these, so how I always have marked them is I kind of about know that I need to get my grease fitting right on the top of that, where it'll set even with that arm so I can get my grease fitting on it. So we're just gonna mark, say right there. That's right in the middle. Gonna do that. Now let's get our wrong drawer. Still wrong drawer. We'll get that. I need to get our file out here. And we'll get a center punch. And we'll get a hammer. I'll try and set you guys up here pretty close. Alright, so we got our mark. It's going to be right on the money. Make sure we're still good. That'll be just fine. Okay, got our drill here. James sends this bit with his. Much, but we got a little bit of grease here. This will really help the tap get started. Let's set that there. Got a rag. Wrong drawer. This is one of the best things you can get, a Matco tap socket. I'll put that back. Get our ratchet here. Went right in. The grease will act as a catch for the metal shavings as well. Sorry we've been down, everybody, as far as not riding a whole lot here. I've had some pretty nasty weather here in Tennessee for the last couple weeks. I've been waiting on parts for a little while, so that's the reason we've not been riding, but we're fixing to start getting back with it. It's pretty close. I'd like to go next weekend if we can. Weather cooperates with us. No more snow. I don't mind the cold, but I'm not a snow person. So let's make sure all of our shavings are out of there. Grease off, and we'll get you guys a little bit closer here where you can see. Got that tapped right in the center. Now I'm probably way more picky than a lot on as far as Loctite and things like that. But I love Loctite. I like screws coming loose, so we're gonna do a little bit here on our threads. Now get the wrench stuck. All right, so that's good on that one. Got our last AR here we're gonna do right quick, and then this will be all I can do. I'm gonna have to wait on my buddy to come weld them step washers in. We've got our mark. Here's our center punch. All right, guys, so back with our, went and got the torque spec on these bolts. They're 14 millimeter head, so 14 millimeter nut and bolt. So got the socket, we'll get our, got our torque wrench out, we'll get our wrench here, 14. Got our, my batteries. Snap on for you, I guess. These batteries are brand new. There we go. All right, torque spec on these bolts is 100 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and do that. They advise you to run red Loctite on everything. Do not use blue, because there's no nylock on these nuts like the factory ones are. These are, like I said, there's no kind of thread locker, so you want to use red. Do not use blue. I know it's permanent. I don't want them coming off. With James's bushings, these should never have trouble anyway. We should never have to take this top one off. So, got that. We'll go ahead and get you guys set up over here, where you can watch what's going on. This. Cut our lid off. I'm going to use this tube. Got our torque wrench here, so I'm probably going to be a lot more liberal about using this stuff than most, but like I said, I don't want this stuff coming loose. Let's try and get you guys where you can see here. I'm going to put my headlamp on so we can all see what we're doing here. Hope I'm not giving you guys too much of a glare. We're going to lower our shock down here. Use our factory bolt on this. I just like to know that we do have ARP bolts for this, but just want to make sure that our shock, I said I may be doing something that I don't even need to, but we're tightening the bolt up in the location where it's going to be basically all the time. You know, I understand the suspension's going to cycle, but we're going to take our nut here. Like I said, I do not want these bolts coming loose. So we're going to load it up with some red. Because once these bolts if these bolts were to come loose and start oblonging in the frame, that's when you run into some, you know, you run into problems of the bolts wallowing out and stuff like that, which we do not want. Do not want that. All right. So alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to change the battery. Batteries in this torque wrench. I don't know what about this snap-on torque wrench, but it eats batteries. And these are gonna go to 100. That's 64 right there. $74. There we go. There's 100 on that. That's a lot of torque on these babies. I don't know if y'all can see on the front up here. There's no way of getting your hand in there, so I'm gonna have to kind of line that up just by hand and tighten that. But as of now, these looks like there's plenty of thread sticking out. On that, if y'all can see, we're going to grease up our bushing up here as well. Just because we don't want any squeaks, any noise, anything. We like to ride too much, and I don't like hearing noises in my machine. So I'll take our bungee cord down. Oh, before we go any further, I'll show you guys how. So these arms are sitting here like this, and there's nothing holding them, and they're that's how tight these are with the new Performance side-by-side bushings and the ARP hardware. These things there is zero movement whatsoever. These are going to be really nice. We're going to be done with that. More bungee. So these also have, if y'all can see there, the little divots, the tiger tooth washers for these as well, for the shock bolts. And these are also going to torque to 100. Bungee. Again, you'll make sure you got your tiger tooth washers where they'll bite in. And these arms are so out here. We're not going to use a hammer on anything. I know some people just take the hammer and just beat the bolt to death. That's not how you do it. We'll clean all this grease off of our bolt. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna even take brake cleaner and clean the threads of this bolt. I don't want there to be any reason. I mean, I want. Let's see, y'all probably think I'm crazy. That's okay. Got our tiger tooth washer. I'm gonna put that up against the frame. More red Loctite. Again, I know these shock bolts may get taken loose at some point, but we still don't have any. There's no way of keeping them tight like the factory nylock nut. So we don't want them coming loose. Getting a lot of tools out here. I'm gonna get this one snugged up. Got our torque wrench. Again, 100 foot-pounds as all 12mm bolts. I'll back you guys up just a little bit here. There's our 100. So got our shock on there. I'll do the others later. We'll save you guys from watching all that. Man, look at these things though. How stout they look. Some good stuff right here. Shouldn't have any issues with any of this stuff. All right, let's get started on the other side. All right, everybody, we're going to get this other side knocked out. We're on back on the driver's side now. Man. Again, center punch will help tremendously. Thank y'all for sticking around. Hope this helps some folks if they're having trouble getting there or not want to tackle it themselves. hope this will help some people. What is the deal here? Alright, I skipped ahead a little bit so y'all not watching just a ton of the same stuff. Got our bolts in here. Again, we're going to put a liberal amount of red Loctite on these. Because we do not want them coming loose. We're going to use our gun here just to speed up just a little bit. On that one. Already got our other one on. And we're going to go through the front here a little trick. torque wrench set on, well, it's 104, let's go 100. I said I like to, let me get a bungee right quick. I may be wasting my time, but I like to torque the arm where it's basically going to be sitting in the about the position it's going to be sitting, we'll say. There's 100 on that. On that one. This one's going to be, we're not going to be able to get, I'm going to have to use an extension on that. Let me get an extension. There we go. There's our 100. Cool. Alright, got our top mounts done. Bring you guys back a... Oh, I got a mess here in the floor. Got our arms here. Y'all can see again how tight these are. There's no movement in them whatsoever. Just what we want. Again, these are getting rid of our factory bolts here. All right, everybody. So skipped ahead a little bit here for everybody to watch. Just because a lot of this stuff is so monotonous, and y'all have seen me do it 3 times now. But this is on our A-Arms here. Decided to go with the kryptonite ball joints. They're my preference. I've ran the Kellers. I don't like the adjustment that you got to have with them. To each their own. This is just what I like. I've had good luck with them in the past. I've never had an issue with them. So bolt them right in. They're super simple. And you don't have to worry about it. A lot of people want to torque them and do all this. Sorry for all the noise. That's how I've always run them. I've never had an issue. Got our grease fitting here as we knocked about 3 things off of our shelf. Oops. Just a touch of blue. This is a super important step of this, of getting the bolt properly shanked. So once these washers got, well, the step washers that got welded right here on each side to fix the egged out holes, this is the bolt that came in the bolt kit. So watch what happens when I put this in. It's got it moved out just enough where there's threads showing here, because there's, like I said, the washers that got welded on the back made the bolt be further this way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So our steel pin of our bushing would be wearing on these threads right here. So you don't want that to happen, and I want to make sure that the tiger tooth washers are on there. Even with the without a washer on this, it's still got a little bit on it, and I'm probably more particular than most, so we're not going to run these bolts. So had to end up waiting. Matched up another ARP bolt kit here that's gonna work. So we'll get one of these out. Let's set you guys back up here as close as we can get. Now, I'll make sure our tiger tooth washers are on there. Sorry about that, the phone's ringing. Sorry everybody. So here's the difference in our 2 bolts. So y'all are probably going to say, oh man, them are so long, they're not going to work. That's way too long. Look what happens when we put this in there. Or there's none of the threads that's showing where our sleeve is going to ride. Yeah, there is going to be some excess here, but that's not going to hurt anything. Once we put our washer on the back, and we get that tightened down, it won't be but maybe 5 or 6 threads that's past it, and that'll be okay. It ain't gonna hurt anything being that. I'd rather it be like that than the bolt be non-properly shanked right, and it'll wear on our pin. So we'll get these greased up and get them on there. Alright, skip ahead here a little bit. We're gonna put our ARP shock bolts on. Got them through. And got our torque wrench here on 100. There's 100. I said, I know some people, they want to run an impact gun on them and tighten them up that way. You can do that and it'll probably be okay for a time or two. What happens, it'll break the, it'll want to break these sleeves. It'll bust the sleeves in half, and it happens more on factory arms. These aftermarkets are a little bit stouter and won't let it do that as much, but you want to use a torque wrench on them. There's a torque spec for a reason. Don't just use an impact on everything you got. I cannot stand a squeaking machine. So one thing we'll do right quick, I put these bearings in, they're still tight. We're gonna grease them anyway. I'm trying to sit up here, y'all can watch the grease as it comes out. There we go. Got our grease. Got our bearing greased up now. We actually got all new hardware with the ARP kit, so we're not going to be using these bolts anymore, which I kind of like because those little bitty bolts don't hold too well to me. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. Finished up the RZR project here behind me on putting the new A-Arms and the bushings back in it. Everything went together really good. Sorry, we've had a little bit of camera trouble and that ended up losing a bit of the footage putting in the bottom A-Arms, but we'll take y'all around here and let you check it out. I figure y'all didn't want to see the putting it all together, but got our HCR top and bottom A-Arms on here. Got our bushings in all the way around. We had greased our drive shaft. Did ARP bolts throughout from TPR Industry, Run BC, whatever the guy is. Torqued all them. On ARP bolts, you want to make sure you use the torque seal paint and mark your threads. And plus I used red Loctite on everything, y'all saw that. So got all them on. These things look super good. Everything went together really good. I also did the shock bolts, which came back here, did the top and the bottoms, but I hope y'all have enjoyed this. This is a little bit different, a little bit different than I'm used to doing as far as, you know, recording and kind of recording me talking, walking through this, not, you know, a riding video, but hopefully we can get y'all riding some more videos here pretty soon. It's took a little time to get the RZR done. Ready to get back at it though. We'll set y'all back down here. Just want to appreciate the views, guys. I know y'all, this is probably a long video. Just appreciate y'all sticking around, watching it through if you've watched the whole thing, I sure appreciate it. If you wouldn't care, just drop a like down below and leave a comment, and it really helps the channel out. Don't cost you guys anything at all. I don't get any anything out of doing this other than just y'all's, just to maybe help some other people out as far as the bushings and stuff. Like I said, James at Performance Side by Side Bushing sent me the bushings. Go take a look at his stuff. If you need bushings, hit him up. He'll get you took care of. He's got bushings for basically any kind of machine that you could want, best on the market, in my opinion. I wouldn't run them if I didn't think that they was good. I know he's going to do the video sponsor, but or as far as a channel, but I wouldn't allow somebody to do that I wouldn't believe in their product anyway. So just appreciate your support, guys. See you next time.